Hello, everybody. Back again with some more picks for you guys today. Tonight, we are doing the two Monday night games that we have. Yes, I said two, because we've got another doubleheader on our hands for tonight. I kind of like the doubleheaders. Kind of cool, There's two games going on Mondays. Usually, we're only used to one, but there's two. Yeah, you never feel like you give enough attention to one or the other because, especially when they start like this, like a game in between them, like an hour in between the games. I get it, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. I like that there's like two games on Mondays. Like it's kind of fun, but we'll see. But going into these two for tonight, we've got four teams that honestly, if we're looking at each of them, man, look, if we're looking at the Bills, if we're talking about them about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Bills are on top of the world. Nobody thinks that anybody can beat the Bills. Everybody's saying that this is their year. But they lose last week to the Patriots, and now people are looking at them a little differently. I don't think they should, but they are still like, maybe we might have crowned them a little too early, like we like to do with the Bills in the Josh Allen era. They've liked to crown them a little too early, in my opinion. Next, we've got the Atlanta Falcons, who, honestly, not a lot was really expected from these guys this year. But if you were to ask them, they were expected to show everybody that they have a lot of talent. They are definitely a team that should be feared and one that should be reckoned with in not only their division that's a little poo-poo soft, but the entire conference of the NFC. So they're a team that has a lot to prove, in all honesty. Then we've got the Chicago Bears, who they've had a lot of ups and downs this year. They've got a new head coach. They've got a second-year quarterback and second-year receiver who are hoping to make names for themselves in the league and have been doing very well. And a defense that's been, let's just say a little shaky to be nice, but they have shown moments, multiple moments. So the potential is there. And finally, we have the Washington Commanders, who, I mean, let's not forget they were a team that was in the NFC Championship earlier this year, if we're being honest, but technically last season. So they're a team that they have expectations while other people may think they don't. Like the Washington Commanders definitely have expectations of themselves. They know what they're capable of. They know what they were a step or two away from last year. And they've got a lot to, all these teams, in my opinion, have something to prove. They still kind of got a monkey on their back where even if people think they're good, they themselves feel like they still have a couple of things to do to prove themselves that they're really good. And in the Commanders case, for me, they've been dealing with injuries this year. So like that kind of sucks when that happens to a team when you got a lot of things like going right and a lot of things that should come together, and then unfortunately you guys have to deal with injuries because that's something that no one can ever really you can never really plan for. Like those are things that happen. So it just sucks for them. But we all know in the game of football, hey, that's a part of it. Being healthy, being the healthiest that your team can be when it's all said and done at the end of the season, that's a very big, important part to it. And unfortunately for them, they're just dealing with out of the majority of them that I can think, yeah, out of these four, they're dealing with the most injury bug. Jaden was down a few weeks. I know Terry McLaurin's out. I only know that because I got him on fantasy football. But they've been dealing with a bunch of injuries. I think on both sides of the ball, if I'm not mistaken. So, but even through all that, they've still been able to get some dubs and everything. And I preface all of that, guys. Like I say all that to lead into my picks for tonight, which I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys. I'm going with the Bills over the Falcons, and I'm going with the Commanders over the Bears. And I'll explain to you guys very briefly. I don't think I really need to that much, but that's the whole reason why I'm doing this video, to explain it. So let me wax poetically for at least a couple minutes. When it comes to the Bills, look at this, guys. The Bills, to take from the great Nick Wright, who, you guys can argue with me about how you feel about Nick Wright or not, but I definitely love his commentary on a lot of different things. And when it comes to the Bills, he would always talk about how people like to anoint them a little too quickly, and then when it's actually time to give them the props that they need, people like to not give them as great of. They like to not big up them as much as they should when they actually should. This is one of those times that it's like they're one of those teams that as soon as you start seeing a little bit of chinks in the armor, everybody like I don't know what it is about the Bills, but like everybody's always so quick to jump on the Bills bandwagon. But as soon as they lose a game or two to somebody, let's get out of here. I'm done with the Bills. Like everybody is so quick to jump off the Bills, and they shouldn't. Like at the end of the day, the Bills are still going to be one of the top four teams in the AFC when this is all said and done by record and just by the playoffs. Like they're going to be in the Final Four. I don't see another team that should just be better than them or seen as better than them. The only way they wouldn't make it to the Final Four is if they end up going against one of the other three teams that I would see probably beating them in the like if they end up going against like one of those teams in the first round or something like that, they won't end up making it to the Final Four. But I don't see that happening. Like so, the Bills should be playing for a chance to get to the AFC Championship this year. So they have shown you that they're a good team and they've been resilient through a bunch of things. They've beat teams that honestly a year or two ago they would have definitely lost to. So that's why, look, bro, Atlanta hasn't shown us anything to where we should be so just, oh my God, and think that they should beat the Bills. And I say this after seeing the Carolina Panthers beat my Dallas Cowboys, and me saying that yeah, there's no way that we're losing that game, and then we lost that game. So, but you know what? We're not talking about the Cowboys right now, so let's not worry about that shit. We are talking about the Bills and the Falcons, and the Bills should beat the Falcons very easily. Don't get me wrong, Michael Penix, and I'm hoping Michael Pitts as well. They should definitely have a pretty good game where like here's the thing, that Bills defense isn't anything to just be so afraid of as it used to be, but it definitely is something that they should definitely respect. But I mean, here's the thing. Michael Penix and them are going to catch the Bills defense sleeping on two or three plays throughout this game. Like I'll just call that right now. So if they can put all that together and they can stop the Josh Allen show, they should be able to. I was like, they should be able to make this an interesting game. But Josh Allen, like, they have more than enough to get this done very handily. But at the same time, I do also know the Josh Allen and Bills like history and how they are, and this is the type of game that they do like to mess around and lose. But I don't see. I'm gonna have faith in Josh and the boys, and I'm gonna say that they are gonna win tonight. Moving on to our second game of the doubleheader, I'm going Washington over Chicago. And it's simple and plain. They're a better team than the Chicago Bears are as we presently speak right now. Will the Chicago Bears eventually become a team that we should worry about and think about? The jury is still out on that. Here's the thing. If they make the right moves that they need to make over the next year, you know what I'm saying, like in this trade deadline and also over the offseason next year and pick up a couple of draft well, like in a year's time from now, we will be talking about the Bears as being a better team and being one of the better teams in the NFC. But like I said, we're still a year away from that. And they're still, in my opinion, a year and a half at least away from being a team that we really need to worry about. But they are one of those teams that is showing the flashes. There hasn't been a whole lot of flashes. It's kind of like how Detroit was like a few years ago. People don't realize this, but it's like that year that Detroit did Hard Knocks to begin the season, like that's what made me kind of like fall in love with the Detroit Lions, like seeing how they were like as an actual like team to begin with, and like watching it, like it would have been so amazing if they had done the end season Hard Knocks that year, because they started off that year very bad, like pretty bad, and they weren't able to pull it all together. But at the end of the year, they finished with a really good record, and that showed everybody like, oh my God, like Detroit's going to be a team that we need to worry about. And then next year which was I believe last year, where they had like the highest scoring offense. They were blowing people out, doing all the trick plays and stuff. I was able to see that was coming from seeing them in Hard Knocks and then seeing how their team finished that year. So it's like it's one of those teams, like Chicago's one of those teams that if they can do that, like if they can continue to show like, oh yeah, we are going to be a team to like worry about pretty soon. Like they're kind of like how like how Green Bay is kind of doing right now. Like everybody really expects Green Bay to be able to do, especially now getting Micah from us and everything. But the jury is still out on whether or not they will because they've got those receivers. Their defense is getting better. They've got Jordan Love. Like so, eventually, this just all has to like come into play. Like come, it all has to come together, right? That's kind of what's happening in my opinion with Chicago. But like I said, we're still a year and a half away from like really seeing what they're trying to build, like actually show some like weight. And because of that, that's why I feel like Jaden McDaniels and the Washington Commanders, they've got enough firepower on both sides, honestly, but mainly on the offensive side. They've got enough, but that defense is nothing to sleep about either. People do not respect the Washington Commanders defense, and I understand why. But I'm trying to tell you guys, they are better than people really like give them credit for. So they should be able to take care of this game as well too. But Chicago, I mean, like honestly, Chicago when they look bad, they look really bad, and I feel like this is gonna be one of those games where they end up looking really bad. Not like I'm just saying that the Commanders are just so much better, but like they are a better team than them, and I just see that they should end up taking this. So those are my picks for tonight's doubleheader, guys. That should end out our week. I already looked at the results from my Sunday games. I did miss the Thursday game. I did get that wrong. I thought the Eagles were going to be better than they were, but I mean, they're the Eagles, so they love to do what I don't like them to do. But hey, that's neither here nor there because I kind of liked that they lost. I liked it until honestly I saw the Cowboys lose against the Carolina Panthers. But yet again, we are not talking about the Cowboys right now. We are talking about Monday Night Football. And I feel like these should be another sweep of Monday night for me, man. We should get both of these right, guys, and we should end off pretty good for the week. From what there's one less game this week, I believe, and from what I've already seen, I've already got at least 10 of the games that we've had right. So if we get these two right, man, I'll be looking at like 12 games out of like the 15. So I'll look at like only have gotten three wrong this week. That'll be a very great week. Hoping for that. Like I said, you guys might need to start putting some money on your boy for these picks. But hey, I do this for the love of the game, guys. Love you guys. Hope you enjoy the game tonight. We'll talk later. Peace.